Hello friends, so today in this video we are going to discuss another important part of HRM, that is module C in ABM, right? So this module is very easy to understand and also marking in the exams. So today the topic is attitude development. What's the attitude means? Attitude normally means how the people or the person react to a particular situation. What's their attitude, right? So this is the term definitions of the attitude to describe people in terms of their behavior and in its impact on its behavior, right? Next, there are some components of attitudes. What are the components? There are three basic components: that is emotional, informational, and behavior. How they are emotional reacting, how informative, and how their attitude is like that with respect to information available, and behavioral. Right? Emotion plays a very important role in organizational behavior of employee. Right? Emotional things, but that is the attitude. Attitude may be positive, may be neutral, may be negative. It depends on that person how particularly he is behaving with respect to that situation. So next, some behavioral component consists of a person's tendency to behave in a particular way towards the object. For example, the manager in the above example may assign only 2 weeks for the systems administration training to employee, which may not be sufficient for the employee to perform his job efficiently. Thus, the attitude have a significant impact on workplace for achieving the organizational object. So this is some theoretical parts. Then remember the definitions with respect to the exams, right? Then significance of attitude in workplace. What's the means of this attitude? An understanding of the role of attitude is very important to study and understanding its impact on human behavior at work for a number of reasons. This attitude will play a very important role in the workplace, right? So these are some theoretical things, management, and the main important thing is that negative oriented people generally finds fault in every situation. It generally remains the part of the problem rather than the construction solutions. Attitudes have 4 important functions. What are the functions done by the attitude? The first function is the adjustment function. Next one is ego defensive function, value expression functions, and the knowledge functions. So these functions are very important with respect to exam. They will give some case study and they will ask which function this is. So need to remember or to understand these terms are very important. The adjective functions. Attitude often help people adjust to their work environment. Some people are very adjustable, that is they can adjust in any work environment. They make them to adjust. When the employees are properly treated by their boss, they are likely to develop a positive attitude towards the supervision and the organizations. These attitudes therefore help employees to adjust to their environment and are basis for the future behavior. Like in the bank, the financial institutions, the manager's attitudes towards their employees, like the officers and the clerks, is very important. If the manager is like friendly and also like supportive in nature, then all the staffs are feeling motivating to work in that environment. So adjustment function is very important. Next one is ego defensive function. Besides, what the meaning of ego defensive? Besides helping employee to adjust, attitude also helps them to defend their self-image. It also helps their self-image. For example, this is an example: an older manager whose decisions are continually challenged by a younger subordinate may feel that the latter is a brash, cocky, immature, inexperienced. Maybe the younger subordinate is right in challenging the decisions. The older manager may not be effective or may be taking poor decisions, but he is not going to admit this and will try to protect his ego. As a result, the older manager will develop negative attitude towards the younger officers in general. So this is very common in any working organizations. So this ego defensive function should be controlled very well. That means to avoid this ego defensive, we need to coordinate with each other to accept their experience. Like in this older manager, he is not accepting because he is experienced, and the younger one is the new one who is taking some challenging decisions, who is ready to accept the new things only, right? So in that case, the older manager can share their experience with the younger one, so that younger persons will accept the experience and will respect their decisions. And in that case, coordination will play a very important role, right? The next one is value expression functions. Attitude provides people with a basis of expressing their value. For example, a manager who believes strongly in the work ethics will tend to voice attitudes towards the specific individual or work practices as a means to reflect their value. A supervisor who wants to subordinate to work harder might put in this way: you have to work harder. That has been the traditional way of the company since it has been founded. This also helps to describe the or subscribe the ethics. That means if any bank has some ethics, if we are taking the example, some public sector banks, they have also some ethics. Like some banks have the sun as their logo. That means that bank is science, right? So in that case, the attitude will implies the value of that particular person or of that organization. So this is very important role, value expression functions. Your attitude can express your value, what you mean to them, what you mean to the organization. Your attitude will play. So then the next one is the knowledge function. Attitude helps apply standards of frames of reference that allow people to organize and explain the world around them. Attitude will give them the comfortable zone so that they can easily explain the surrounding or subordinates about their knowledge. For example, a union officer bearer may have a negative attitude towards the management. Normally we are saying in all the banks, the union is working for their employees and sometimes management, they are against the management. This attitude may not be based on the facts, but it does help the individual to relate to the management. As a result, everything that management says is regarded by the union as a peak of lies and distortion of truth. So an attempt to manipulate, regardless of how accurate a person's view reality attitudes towards the people it event. There are some theoretical knowledge function. Just remember that it will implies your knowledge level to that particular, how your attitude. So these are the functions, very important. Then is changing in attitude. What are the changing attitudes? We have seen the attitudes of employee have significantly changed their behavior workplace, which results into their performance. It is therefore necessary to develop the right attitude of the employees for the benefits of the both. That means if you are giving good attitude, if you are behaving in a good attitude level to the organizations, then you can also get some benefits. It will be helpful for both for the organization and for the employees, right? So positive attitude will help a person in all spheres of life, including his organization as well as personal. So in this changing attitude, there are some theoretical things you can refer this. With respect to exams, only these functions are very important. So in the next video, we are going to discuss another topic in this module, that is career planning. So stay tuned for the next videos and keep studying. Thank you.